All right, and we are back. We're still in the infirmary, but it's the alternate infirmary.
Can we go home yet, Romney?
There is no escape.
I'm starting to learn this as we get into these games.
Yeah.
There really isn't an escape.
Yep. Especially what? Okay, that's just the part of the background. It's just.
Were you I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought there was something there.
Yeah, like I'm guessing those supposed to be drapes, but that looks kind of fleshy if you ask me.
Yeah.
All right, just need to get a little reoriented with the controls here.
There we go.
So
just to give people a reference, it's actually been a couple of weeks since we played. We had a lot of crap happen that kind of impeded recording sessions. I had family stuff. We had snowstorms.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty nuts. So you might have to forgive us a little bit in this play session as we relearn the controls and kind of reacclimate ourselves to where we actually are in the game.
Okay. So let's take out the crowbar and save the ammo. We've got 22 shots in total.
Yeah.
So we got to make those last.
And we've only got one first aid kit. So
one first aid kit and a bunch of other items.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to be a little careful.
Yep.
Because we're probably gonna have to deal with more demon children.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm already worried about. And already we can hear them. Jiminy Christmas, man! Now we get to walk back into the. You know, I find this funny, Romney, because I just barely about a week ago finished the Resident Evil 2 remake, and now I'm throwing myself into another horror game.
Yeah. I also just find it interesting that all the horror stuff tends to happen in January. Like, that's when horror movies get released.
Right?
That's when horror games get released. So what the hell is that?
Yeah. That's really worrying. You don't know what it is either.
Okay, well, I recognize the door because we've got this little card here that shows a picture of a key that matches it. Found on a desk in the classroom.
Yeah.
So, I guess
so
that
the card would act as a key. I guess. Is this a door? If it is, there's no keyhole or even a knob. If I push it, it moves a bit, but it certainly won't open. What's this? In the center of the door is a horizontal slot. What's it for?
I think I know.
We're going to walk into the secret Umbrella laboratory with our key card?
Wrong franchise.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, to be fair, given some of the weird theories people have made about Silent Hill, I wouldn't be surprised if people would try to connect it to the Umbrella Corporation, not realizing that this is a Konami game and not a Capcom game.
But wait, Romney, the Umbrella Corporation is good now.
Yeah, in DLC.
Well, in DLC, plus this game came out in 98.
Yeah, this is true. So Umbrella was technically still evil at this point.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. Like, now that I think about it, Resident Evil 7 came out around this time, too.
Yeah.
End of January.
Yeah, I guess that's just... Because I know in the movie industry it makes sense. Everyone's broke after the holidays, and so that's when, to be honest, the January is where movies are basically released to die.
Well, and here's the thing, too, is that a lot of horror fans, like a lot of horror nuts, will not go to see the Christmas movies. They're not interested. So this is kind of the holiday season for them.
Well, yeah, especially considering that what comes out is either movies released to qualify for the Academy Awards, and then all the family movies, which usually get released around Thanksgiving.
Which is the other thing that I find really funny, is that we are literally recording this on Oscar night.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. We had better shit to do.
Yeah.
And by better shit, I mean we had to go scare ourselves shitless.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is supposed to be like where the bathrooms are and the regular stuff. Okay, there's items.
Oh yeah.
More bullets.
Dude, you would not be able to notice that with all the other debris on the floor.
These developers be
Wow, you get a shotgun in this game? Oh.
Well,
something tells me we're gonna be saving that for boss battles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd make the joke referencing the original Japanese version of Resident Evil, but I'll have to wait until I actually, got the shotgun.
Yeah. Because I don't even think we've come across it yet, have we?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Okay. Where the hecky doodles are?
I know, right? Oh, there he is. So...
Haha, you can't get us.
So we're supposed to be able to get past that hallway somehow and go to deal with the demon children. You know, I'm starting to believe the Silent Hill fans. Silent Hill is a feeling of dread,
Yep.
a feeling of emptiness.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people try to connect all of the games into one vast cosmology, but when you consider the influence, it just doesn't make sense to try to link them in such a way.
From what I understand, it's not possible. Because, again, like, the problem that kind of comes into it is Silent Hill is its own kind of entity for different people.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, every game is a different person, isn't it?
Yeah. For the most part. I mean, until you get into some of the confusion stuff, like
Because I know
Memories.
2 is a different guy.
Yeah, 2's a different guy.
3 is, I think, his daughter.
Yeah.
Which, this is the part that's going to throw me off, is because her name is Sherry.
Yeah, her name is Cheryl, and then
Cheryl.
in 3 it's changed to Heather, and they kind of explain it.
Yeah. Cheryl, and that throws me off with Sherry, as in Sherry Birkin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know part of it is that her being Cheryl is supposed to be kind of a reveal in the game. That going in, you're not really supposed to know. It's just because of how long ago
And
it's...
from what I understand, the other games, like, none of these characters come back.
No,
None of
because that's kind of antithetical to
Well,
it.
I've heard there's a secret in 3 that gives us Harry again.
Well,
But-
yeah. There's a secret. There's the UFO endings
Yeah.
that bring the characters back. That's been like the ongoing running gag with all of the Silent Hill games. Well, mainly all the ones that are basically 1 through 4 and Shattered Memories, because things get kind of weird with the American-developed Silent Hill games.
Is there an actual 4? Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. We've covered this.
Yeah,
It's
Silent
under
Hill 4: The Room.
The Room, yeah. And no, we're not talking about that room. We don't need to talk about Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Harry.
Oh, hi. Did you find your daughter? Anyway, how's your sex life in that hellhole?
Well, that would be a fitting question for James Sunderland when you really consider the metaphor of the monsters in Silent Hill 2, so...
Is that the protagonist in 2?
Yeah, the protagonist in 2, when you consider, like, the meaning of some of the stuff you see in 2, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if of all the times where a Tommy Wiseau quote would be actually fitting, it would be Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, the other thing that I find interesting is somebody was pointing out to me after we revealed this was that I guess I spoke wrong in the fact that I thought they were getting legit voice actors, and instead they kind of just mishmash together. And one of the things that Silent Hill fans love is the fact that some of these actors have gained this cult following with just only doing that one role.
Yeah.
In particular, the example that gets told to me is the guy who plays the main guy in 2 and the leading lady in 2.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've got like this cult following now.
Well, yeah, and I know that there was the news article talking about how the voice actress for Heather Mason in 3 didn't even know how popular the game was. She just thought it was a small bit part that only some people would play. She didn't realize just how much of a fan base Silent Hill had until people pointed out to her when they were doing the HD re-release, where they were having her come back in and re-record the lines.
Okay.
And so it was literally a case of she's just like, I had a few friends who played the game who liked it. I didn't realize it was as popular as it was.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, because people kind of forget, back in these days when, with voice acting, like, there was a reason that there was, like, union disputes and why people would have to go under pseudonyms to record voices for video games, because it wasn't officially recognized.
Well, a lot of
for a
people don't
while.
realize this was like the dark ages of voiceover, not just for voiceover in games, but voiceover in general, because anime was kind of a thing. It was still in that 90s mode of, like, we would only get OVAs. And so at that point, since the stuff you were recording for was hypersexual, hyperviolent, you didn't know if you wanted your name attached to it. And so a lot of voice actors went by a lot of different pseudonyms, and especially with games. Because the one thing I didn't know and somebody had to point out to me is, I still laugh at this knowledge, in Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, Goku is played by Steve Bloom. but it's under one of his, like, 3 or 4 pseudonyms.
Yeah, and I remember with the original Metal Gear Solid, David Hayter went by his pseudonym Sean Baker, which oddly enough was a pseudonym he took because that was the name of the character he played in The Guyver.
Yeah. It's not just him either. The guy who played Otacon went under a pseudonym, I think. And
okay.
dude who played the Colonel went under one. I think the only one that was legit was the original. It was either Ocelot or Liquid that went under their original name because they did.
Yeah.
But this was kind of the Dark Ages, people. Like, on top of not just, like, the professional work was kind of few and far between, only certain companies could afford it. And you gotta remember, with Konami, Silent Hill was an experiment.
Yeah, and
they had to be able to justify it to counter Resident Evil.
well, yeah, and that was a case that the Team Silent was basically made up of people who were all on teams whose games had failed, and so this was, they were basically the redheaded stepchildren.
This was low freaking budget. They had to do it as low as they possibly could.
Yeah, so much so that all the cutscenes had to be rendered on the workstations at Konami after everyone else had gone home.
And from what I understand, like,
stay dead.
Amongst Silent Hill fans, the first 3 have, like, the best cutscenes of the whole series. Like, when they have full-on cinematics, they're the best in the series. Because it's legit Team Silent. And then whoever you're talking to, depending on which one is their favorite, then they'll say, like, 2's got the best cinematics.
Yeah. And again, there's just a lot of things to unpack with the way this game came to be, because it was very much a case that Konami initially wanted something that would be like Resident Evil, almost beat for beat, but that, and kind of even copied the science fiction angle, whereas the people at Team Silent are just like, hey, why don't we take influence from things like Twin Peaks and this more supernatural stuff that can be our edge? And Konami's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. This thing's probably gonna fail anyway, so yeah.
The other thing that I'm kind of noticing just going through, because people are forgetting this. This is my first time ever playing Silent Hill. I got told for years, don't play it, because you'll never be able to sleep again. But one of the things I'm kind of noticing is where Resident Evil, since they are always kind of put together in the PlayStation era as competing with each other, Resident Evil kind of had the hammy stuff covered. That's one of the reasons I like the original 3 games, is they're hammy as crap. But Silent Hill has atmosphere down probably better than Resident Evil did.
But it said we can't use the phone.
Oh, but now the Kremlin's calling.
Who was phone?
Daddy, help me. Daddy, where are you?
Cheryl!
Okay.
I do a Liam Neeson impression here, but
Where is she?
it's
Cheryl,
it's like, I don't know who you are.
I will find you, and I will kill you. Even though you're my daughter, I will find you, and I will kill you. See, and I was about to go into the corny voice that everybody likes to reference. My daughter? I've gotta find her. That's what I find funny about the Silent Hill fans. Like, you love the voices, but you love to make fun of them. And look, it's not like I don't get it. I mean, I love Barry jokes. So,
Yep.
Barry jokes are amazing. Oh, and this does have an upstairs area.
Yep. I mean, this is the same building. It's just
I kind of expected it to be, like Silent Hill to be like this reverse dimension, and you go downstairs instead.
so basically Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're walking into a hell dimension, and always the conception media-wise is that hell's down there, not up here.
Yeah. And I mean, we're dealing with like the idea of like a mirror universe thing sort of arrangement, so this could be like Castle Dracula, where it's all upside down.
Could be.
Except we didn't need no holy glasses or anything.
Well, and on top of that, it's one of the things I like about the modern Castlevania games is that they basically portray the castle as kind of a living thing.
Yeah.
So at that point, that's why it can reverse itself. That's
Yeah.
why it doesn't look the same all the time.
Yep. Mainly because they had to find a way to explain
To
why.
explain developer hiccups.
Not even
Yeah.
developer hiccups. It's a case of, well, we don't want all the levels to look the same. We got to explain a reason why Dracula seems to rework his castle every time he comes back.
Why doesn't he reuse the same bosses? Because there's quite a number of games where like Frankenstein doesn't come in, and
Well, yeah, and then there's some cases where creatures that were once bosses got downgraded.
wait. Okay, we have music now.
I hear music.
This is not good. Oh, good. We found some shotgun shells.
Well, that raises the question. Why are they pink?
Yeah. I'm glad that you're not. I'm not the only one asking that. I almost want to go into the Guybrush 3-point. It's pink.
I mean, for all we know, maybe there was just a special line of shotguns that was part of their.
Oh, jeez, Demon Roach and Demon Child. 2 Demon Roaches.
Anyway.
Jeez. Okay. No, you're already panting.
Let's see.
I only have 1.
Yeah.
Okay, music's
so,
getting louder.
So it's something in here that we need to look for. I'm assuming that that's the clue.
Christmas. Yeah, this game has atmosphere down.
All right, so we're in a classroom. Going out of the classroom, not so much an option.
Was there nothing in the lockers?
Well, it didn't give me any opportunity to
Prompts,
examine
yeah.
them.
Not even with the bloody lockers? Jeez.
Yeah, you think that would be like the dead giveaway.
But no. And dead. Okay,
This is going to be a thing, people.
Yes, death is going to happen.
Let's see what sage advice they give us.
Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so we have to make our way back from the
infirmary.
Yeah.
But at least we know we have an item we need to progress.
Exactly. So we're fine. We'll make it work. My daughter. I gotta find her.
All right, so I'm still gonna keep the gun equipped, but let's maybe save the ammo because I burned through a lot of what we picked up.
Yeah. Because it looks like the gun is probably the best way to go. Because I don't think the pipe was hitting the roaches.
Well, I mean, it does. It's more the fact that it's in numbers is what's kind of make it hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so
do we dare try the flashlight trick?
At this point with the roaches, I don't know if that'll be a good idea.
I don't think we'd see him. I don't think we'd see him.
Okay, so let's head over to the reception area
while avoiding the demon children. Come on, we know you're here.
And see, one thing that this game has over Resident Evil, you can move while having your gun out.
Yeah, that is definitely helpful. I mean, I could see kind of similar tank controls in Silent Hill, but they definitely made some improvements to it.
Yep.
But, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Silent Hill came out after Resident Evil, right?
Mm-hmm. They got the idea after seeing the success of Resident Evil. They thought, okay, this new genre seems promising. Let's see if we can match that. And then Team Silent and the main guy behind Team Silent is like, rather than taking influence from rather than just copying Resident Evil, he's just like, okay, well, let's look at other types of American movies and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, because one of the things I was kind of wondering with the game design philosophy here is if they'd actually gotten their hands on a copy of Resident Evil and just said, okay, this is something we don't like from it, we will do this differently.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was very much part of the design, although they may not have stated it openly. It wouldn't be surprising because that's...
Well, not only that, it makes more sense in this game as if you compare the monstrosities you're coming across in Silent Hill to the zombies in Resident Evil 1, they're far more aggressive.
And far more intelligent.
Yeah, so at that point, like, having the lockdown the way they did in tank controls for Resident Evil, it made sense that way. But here, it does make more sense to have movement available, to be able to sidestep.
Yeah, especially considering that the camera can move around, that it's no longer you're just dealing with fixed camera angles.
The other thing I'm kind of wondering is, like, we now have the Resident Evil 1 remake, as well as Resident Evil 0, which are far more atmospheric than the original one. I can't help but wonder if maybe by that point Capcom had seen what Silent Hill was doing and said, we're going to implement something similar to it.
Well, that's part of it, but I also, when you look at kind of the way things developed, another bigger thing was that they just had seen, it was very much a case where Resident Evil was where they were getting their feet wet with how to design 3D games. And then after Resident Evil 1 was done, then they immediately started Resident Evil 2 before it was even released, then leading to Resident Evil 1.5, but then Shinji Mikami wasn't happy with what they had so far and basically told them to scrap it. And what made the difference with Resident Evil 2, the original, was that they brought in an actual screenwriter to try to fix the problems they were having with the story.
Yes. And that was a good idea.
Yep.
Because then we got a much more cohesive story that then could be remade many, many years later and made actually significantly better. So
yeah, because that's the other thing a lot of people forget is that by that point, that was Capcom basically thinking, okay, now we know kind of what we can do with this technology, so let's play around with it.